All right, we're going to be testing all of your cranial nerves today. So cranial nerve 1 is first. I'm going to have you shut your eyes and occlude one of your nostrils. I'm going to introduce the smell to you. I want you to tell me what it smells like.
Coffee.
Good. Go ahead and close the other side of your nose. And do the same thing.
Coffee.
Good. And go ahead and open up your eyes. Does each side smell about the same?
Mm-hmm.
Good. And not one was stronger than the other or anything?
Nope.
Okay, good. An abnormal response would be if you weren't able to smell it of one side or if one was stronger than the other. All right, next cranial nerve we're testing is cranial nerve 2. We're going to start by checking your visual acuities. If you would take this and hold it up and just tell me the small sign you can read.
TZV ECL.
Good, that's 20/20. And again.
TZV ECL.
Good, 20/20 OD and OS. So that is normal. An abnormal response would be if she was not able to see 20/20. I'm going to have you take this again and cover up one of your eyes. I'm going to check your visual fields. And if you stare right here at my open eye, I'm going to hold up some numbers out here. Tell me how many you see just by keep looking right here.
1, 2, 5, 1,
Look right here.
1,
Good. And I'm going to hold up two numbers now and add them up for me.
3, 6,
Good. Go ahead and switch eyes. And same thing.
1, 2, 5, 1,
Good. And add them up.
3, 10.
Good. Yeah, it's full to finger count, OD and OS. Abnormal response would be any constriction of field if she wasn't able to see any of the numbers I was holding up. Next test we're going to do is the red cap test to test her color vision. Same thing, go ahead and cover up one of your eyes. Looking at here, what color is the cap on this bottle?
Red.
And if this cap is 100% red, it's real bright, go ahead and, does this look 100% to you?
Mm-hmm.
Very bright. Go ahead and switch eyes for me. Does this look the same amount of brightness? Would you still call it 100%? Good. If it was an abnormal response, she would say it isn't 100% or is decreased in percentage-wise of brightness. Anything more than 10% decrease would be considered abnormal. Next thing we're going to test is your pupil constriction to light. So I'm just going to have you stare out there in the distance. I'm just going to be checking your pupils. I'm shining in her right eye, and I have a direct response and a consensual response in her left eye. And again, I'm shining in her left eye. I'm getting a direct response as well as a consensual response in her right eye. And just keep looking straight ahead. Checking for an APD, just keep looking straight ahead. Good. And no APD. And the last thing I'm going to be checking is just checking out her fundus with my direct ophthalmoscope, checking out her optic nerve. Just go ahead and look straight ahead. I'm going to come real close to you, take a look inside your eye. And her optic nerve looks round, pink, and distinct. Good, and everything else looks normal. Do the same thing on this eye. Same thing. Optic nerve looks round, pink, and distinct. And all other findings look normal. If her optic nerve wasn't round and pink and distinct, that would be abnormal. And if she had an APD on my swinging flashlight test or one of the pupils didn't constrict as well as the other, that would be abnormal as well. Now I'm going to test cranial nerves 3, 4, and 6. So the first thing we're going to check is your extraocular muscles. So I'm going to have you keep your head nice and straight and just follow my light with your eyes. Follow all the way out here. Let me know if you ever have any pain or double vision. Keep your head nice and still. Any pain or double vision yet? And all the way out here. Good. She has full range of motion OU. An abnormal response would be if she wasn't able to get out to any certain gaze or if her eyes were going in different directions, one going higher than another or something like that. Or if she showed any type of gaze nystagmus. Next thing we're going to test is her ability to converge her eyes. I'm going to have you follow this E. I'm going to bring it all the way in towards your nose. Bring it all the way in. Good. And NPC is all the way to her nose. Abnormal response would be inability to converge for either a muscle problem or something like that. Next thing I'm going to test is your pupil constriction to light. And your pupils are constricting to light. Good. And now I'm going to test your constriction at near to check for light near dissociation. I'm going to look real closely at that E, and then look out past me at the distance of the chart, and again at this E. And she does have constriction to near. Next I'm going to check your pupil sizes just in full room illumination. And pupils are good. 0.6 millimeters. So pupils are equal. With full illumination, we would do the same thing in dim room lights to check to see if pupils were the same size and equal, and there would be an abnormal response would be if there's any anisocoria between the two eyes. And the last thing I'm going to check for is any type of lid ptosis. And just go ahead and look out straight at the chart. And I am not noting any ptosis. An abnormal response would be if one lid was lower than the other, another lid was retracted. Alright, the next cranial nerve we're testing is cranial nerve 5. For this cranial nerve, there's a motor and a sensory component, so we'll start with the motor component. I'm going to have you just shut your mouth like you're doing and clench your jaw, like this. And I'm just going to touch your face and feel just below I'm just feeling your masseter muscle and your temporalis muscle contracting, and you can relax, and both sides feel equal and they both were able to contract. An abnormal response would be if only one side was able to, or if she wasn't able to contract strongly, but hers felt normal. The next part is going to be part of the sensory component. Just go ahead and shut your eyes. I'm just going to touch your forehead and your cheeks and your jawline, and I want you to tell me if it feels equal on each side.
Equal.
Good. And down here.
Equal.
And here.
Equal.
Good. An abnormal response would be if she wasn't able to feel on one side, or if one side felt a lot stronger of feeling than the other. And the last part I'm going to do is called the cotton wisp test to test your corneal reflex. I'm just going to look straight ahead. I'm going to touch the front of your eye with a cotton wisp, and I want you to tell me when you feel it.
Feel it.
Good. Come over to this side.
Feel it.
Good. And she displayed a bilateral blink reflex, and she was equal on both sides, how I felt. And an abnormal response would be if it was unequal or if she didn't feel it at all on one side. All right, next thing we're going to be testing is cranial nerve 7. It's going to be testing some of your facial muscles. So I'm going to tell you a couple of expressions to do. First, I'm going to have you raise your eyebrows. And now frown, please. Close both eyes tightly. And I'm going to try and open them. Try and fight me. Keep them closed. Good. And next, I'm going to have you smile and puff out both of your cheeks. And I'm going to try and push them in. Resist me. Good. So she displayed all normal responses. An abnormal response would be if half of her face was drooping, or she wasn't able to express one of the expressions that I was instructing her to. All right, now I'm going to be testing cranial nerve 8. You're going to be testing Lauren's hearing. So Lauren, I'm going to have you just look straight ahead. I'm going to close up one of your ears, and I want you to tell me when you first hear my fingers making a sound.
Right now.
Good. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Same thing, just let me know when you first hear it.
Now.
Good. And Lauren was able to hear my fingers making the sound at about the same distance from either ear. An abnormal response would be if they were different distances until she was able to hear it, or if she was not able to hear it at all. All right, next we're going to observe cranial nerves 9 and 10. So first we're going to listen for any abnormalities in Lauren's voice. So Lauren, I'm going to have you say, I love neuro.
I love neuro.
Okay, she does not have any abnormalities in her voice. Next thing I'm going to have you do, just answer honestly, do you ever have any difficulty swallowing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she doesn't have any difficulty swallowing, so that is a normal response. If she did report yes, she does, then that would be abnormal. Now, Lauren, I'm going to have you say ah. And stick your tongue out for me. And I'm looking in the back of her throat, watching for her, you can stop now, watching for her soft palate to rise and her uvula to remain on the midline, and hers does. If her soft palate did not rise, or the uvula went one way or the other, that would be an abnormal response. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try and elicit a gag reflex. So Lauren, I'm just going to demonstrate how this would happen. I'm going to have you open up your mouth, and I'm going to stick something towards the back of her throat, and if she's able to gag, then that would be a positive gag reflex, which would be normal. If she was not able to gag, then that would be an abnormal response. All right, next we have cranial nerve 11. Going to be testing your spinal accessory nerve. So Lauren, I'm going to have you shrug your shoulders just like that. Good. I'm going to have you do it again, and I'm going to try and resist you. Try and fight against me. Good. I'm going to have you turn your neck from side to side. Good. And now I'm going to hold it again like this and push against me. Good. And same on this side. Try and push against me. Good. So Lauren exhibited equal strength and contraction of her muscles of her neck and shoulders. If it was an abnormal response, one side may not be able to push as hard or contract as hard, or she wouldn't be able to perform what I'm asking. All right, and finally we'll be testing cranial nerve 12. We already tested her articulation of her speech on one of the previous cranial nerves. So now we're going to be kind of testing her tongue. So Lauren, I'm just going to have you stick your tongue out, or just like have it rest at the bottom of your mouth. Good. I'm looking for any type of atrophy, but no, it looks normal to me. Now I'm going to have you stick out your tongue. It's just straight out, straight ahead. Good, and hers looks normal. If it deviated toward one side or the other, or showed any type of atrophy, that would be an abnormal response. And now I'm going to have you put your tongue inside your mouth and push up against the side of your cheek, and I'm just going to gently feel. Good, and now this side. Good, and she's able to push against either side and it feels equal. Abnormal response would be if she's not able to apply pressure to either side of her cheek.